What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. This video is 10 wrestlers who appeared on WWE TV way before they were stars. I have a couple of mine right now, but I'll just keep that to myself. But I will say this. I love seeing videos, photos, footage of wrestlers who had big historic wrestling careers or even had a great career or doing great right now when they have footage of them when they were younger, just watching from the crowd. I love that because it feels like it was destined, like everything went full circle. But also, I know that there's some aspiring wrestlers who see that and it re-inspires them. It makes them believe like, hey, it's still possible regardless of how I feel. And for me, I'm a sucker for like people getting inspired. So that's just a soft spot for me. But also for those wrestlers, it's great content for them for when they're in the feud. They can use it in the future. They can use it in a biography. It's just so many great things that can come from these moments. But without all the chitter chatter, okay, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this.
The first time a WWE star appears on television is, or at least should be, a big deal. Not only is it in many instances the fulfillment of a lifelong dream, it can also be the beginning of a legendary career, a bookmark to look back on as a seminal moment in a performer's history. Sometimes a superstar's first on-camera WWE appearance takes place years before they're a superstar at all. From sprightly superfans to relatives roped into the action, I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 wrestlers who appeared on WWE TV way before they were stars. Join us. Number 10, AJ Lee. AJ Lee would go on
really quick before they get into him, guys, I'm just gonna let you guys know this. She was one of my biggest crushes growing up watching wrestling, bro. She was in the top. She was up there, bro. It was her, Trish Stratus, of course, Stacy Keibler, of course. I don't know if you guys remember this wrestler called Raquel. She was in TNA. She was Brazilian. Yeah, she was one of my top 5 favorites. And what can I think of? It's so many. It's so many. I can't think off the top of my head. Oh, Young Steph McMahon. Hey, I don't even gotta say much. You guys already know. Let's continue.
Become one of the most popular female stars of her era, due in large part to the fact that she was just so different from her contemporaries. It's hardly a major surprise considering how much she clearly idolized WWE Hall of Famer Lita whilst growing up. And there's video evidence to back that up, with WWE uploading footage of a then 14-year-old April Mendez meeting the former women's champion at a signing of Lita's It Just Feels Right VHS on July 18th, 2001. Overcome with emotion, Lee, clad in Lita t-shirt, has to fight back the tears while telling her hero how much she means to her. It's very cute, and AJ would reflect years later that she's thankful Lita was so sweet to her and didn't make her feel stupid for fangirling out. The footage aired on WWE television not long after, but the clip would take on a slightly different meaning over a decade later when Lee began dating and ultimately wound up marrying Lita's ex-boyfriend CM Punk. Number 9,
wow.
Tyson Kidd and
Hey, just really quick though, I'm sorry for stopping this video. Here's the thing. It reminds me, I love that movie Fighting with Family. I don't know if you guys watched that, but that scene where Zelina Vega played AJ Lee, bro, I was upset. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even get upset about these things, but it was just weird. For one, I said she was my crush, AJ Lee, right? And Zelina Vega, she's pretty, okay? But it just felt weird. It just was like someone just took Gary Payton and made them play Michael Jordan. Or they just took some random beer to do like, I don't know, Anthony Davis and made him play LeBron James. Like, it probably wasn't that crazy, but it just took me out of the scene because I'm like, you're Zelina Vega, man. You're not AJ Lee, bro. It was just weird. I don't know.
Talia. In Your House Canadian Stampede was a homecoming for the Hart family, with Bret and Owen performing in the show's main event alongside extended family members Jim Neidhart and Davey Boy Smith. The Hart Foundation prevailed in the show closer, with the finish incorporating Bret and Owen's father Stu and their older brothers. After picking up the victory, the Harts invited the crew who were seated in the first rows of the Calgary Saddledome to come into the ring for a big celebration. Local legend Stu was naturally the center of attention, but the moment offered a cameo to some younger members of the Hart House who would go on to have distinguished WWE careers themselves. The Anvil's daughter Natalia Neidhart
What? They don't even look like her.
A young TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd, a friend of the family who essentially became an adopted member of the Hart clan. Fast forward a little over a decade and Natalia and Kidd would make WWE debuts proper. Even sweeter, the two little Mat Rats would end up marrying each other in 2013 after being together for 12 years. Aww. Number
like
8,
Tyson Kidd.
Dominic Mysterio. The detestable Dominic Mysterio is one of WWE's hottest heat magnets these days. It wasn't always that way, of course, with Dom introduced to the WWE universe as a cherub-cheeked little tyke who was the center of an infamous storyline in 2005. While many fans recall him being involved as Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero literally fought for his custody, the Judgment Day members' on-screen bow predates even that. Dom had been in the audience to watch some of his father's key matches, and by father we mean Rey for anyone who wants to get cute about it. This included when the Masked Man challenged for Matt Hardy's Cruiserweight title on the June 5th, 2003 episode of SmackDown, a rare occasion where the Cruiserweights got to headline on WWE TV. Since the show was being taped in Rey's hometown of San Diego, California, a fairy tale ending was the thing to do, and Mysterio managed to bag the gold before bringing his son into the ring to share the moment with him. And just look at how the ungrateful little bastard repaid his old man. Number 7, Charlotte Flair. Though Ric Flair's sons, David and Reed, keenly followed their father into the wrestling business, the Nature Boy's daughter Charlotte was more likely to become a professional volleyball player than a bone bender.
Yeah, she looks like a
been
volleyball player.
exposed to the industry from an early age, because Charlotte showed up in WCW in both 1993 in a vignette with her dad at that year's Starrcade and in 2000, where she got physically involved with Vince Russo. Poor woman. The first time the second-generation star graced WWE screens was in 2004, when she attended the December 6th edition of Monday Night Raw. Taking place in her hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina, Flair was on hand to witness history being made, as that particular episode was headlined by Lita winning the Women's Championship from Trish Stratus.
Wow.
Almost 12 years later, on October 3rd, 2016, Charlotte would herself compete in just the third ever Women's Championship main event on Raw, dropping the title to Sasha Banks. Number 6, Johnny Gargano. Tommaso Ciampa's first WWE appearance of note was certainly a memorable one. Acting as the attorney for the controversial Muhammad Hassan, the Blackheart with slicked back hair and glasses read out a statement on behalf of
This
his
man went from
client,
Matthew McConaughey to Kratos. That's a glow up right there. That's a glow up.
addressing the shocking angle from a week earlier, which had gotten the Hassan character kicked off of WWE television. Thomas Whitney Esquire was then destroyed by The Undertaker because, of course. In a neat beat of symmetry, Ciampa's DIY partner Johnny Gargano's first televised WWE appearance involved the dead man's kayfabe brother Kane. Johnny Wrestling wasn't doing
Oh my God. Yo, whoever booked this, I don't want nobody losing their job. But this is what it looks like. You're like, Mom, can you buy me Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? And they say, no, we got Zelda at home. And they dad come out like this. Who told him to wear this, bro? This is crazy, man. It's so disrespectful. And Gargano's one of my favorite wrestlers, by the way. So
on WWE TV.
Maybe
but
I'm
rather
biased.
watching on in horror from the crowd as the Big Red Machine attacked a planted fan on the March 2nd, 1998 episode of Raw. Gargano, who would have been 9 at the time, later explained that he was so terrified because he thought that Kane would come for him next. Number 5, the
Kane was scared.
Usos. It feels like we've watched Jimmy and Jey Uso grow up on WWE television, given that they've been a focal part of the promotion for coming up 15 years now. Their evolution during that time has been startling, as the Usos have blossomed from young men with bags of potential to 2 veterans who are among the very best the business has to offer. They may have made their WWE TV debuts proper by attacking the Hart Dynasty in 2010, but the twin tag team had at least one televised
back
appearance
then?
under their belt. It was long
Hey.
rumored that either Jay or Jimmy was the kid interacting with Santa and Stone Cold Steve Austin during a segment on the December 22nd, 1997 episode of Raw, but that was in fact their non-wrestling younger brother Jeremiah. The multi-time tag champions, on the other hand, first showed their faces on an episode of Confidential in 2002 during a profile of their father Rikishi. Then 16, Jimmy and Jay joined in as their daddy performed a traditional Samoan dance, which is nice and all, but
Michael
if they're
Vick
not
jersey.
wearing yellow shades and busting a move to turn it up, can't say I'm too interested. Number 4, Edge. A lifelong member of the so-called WWE universe, Adam Copeland's sports entertainment fandom was no stranger to those who knew him. He was voted most likely to become WWE champion in his high school yearbook and began training for a career in tights at the earliest available opportunity.
That's dope.
A long time before he established himself as a WWE superstar in his own right, a 17-year-old Edge was in the crowd at WrestleMania 6, cheering on Hulk Hogan as his hero defended the world title against the Ultimate Warrior. It was a bad result for the teenage Hulkamaniac, but a much better one for himself 9 years later when he himself wrestled in the Toronto Skydome and beat Jeff Jarrett to win the Intercontinental title, the first gold of an illustrious Hall of Fame career. Perhaps the most sentimental of his championship triumphs was when he got to team with his childhood idol and capture the tag straps in 2002. Wow. That's the power of prayers and vitamins right there, guys. Well, and being 6'5" and shredded with a great head of hair and Hollywood white teeth. Yeah. But mostly the prayers and vitamins. Number 3.
Wait,
Velveteen.
did you guys see? Oh my god, dude. Why did they have to mention him? Yo, it's so much wasted potential here, bro. It's depressing, man. I don't even know the guy. But I don't know if you guys saw the interview. It was Edge and someone else. It was on a Canadian TV show, and he was asking questions to Bret Hart. And he was asking him, like, the lady was like, how do you get in WWE and things like that? And Bret was being as vague as possible. And Edge was in there. It was a young Edge, and it was crazy, bro. That guy looked like Shaggy back in the day. But it was just like really interesting to see that whole conversation happening between two Canadian wrestling legends. So back in the day, obviously they didn't know back then, but go check out the interview. It's pretty cool.
Dream. One route that prospective stars used to be able to take to WWE was via Tough Enough. The reality show has produced several stars, including those that didn't actually win the competition but ended up getting signed anyway, like The Miz. Yeah. Patrick Clark, aka the Velveteen Dream, was one of those who made it to WWE, well, NXT anyway, thanks to Tough Enough. Clark entered the 2015 version of the show and was a favourite to win, though he was somewhat shockingly eliminated at the midway point because of perceived cockiness.
Crazy. Did you guys see?
Patrick didn't NXT anyway,
it's crazy.
Thanks to Tough Enough.
All right, guys.
Clark entered.
I always think it's cool if we go back. You see like Mandy Rose. You see Sonya Deville right here. What else is in here? I don't recognize anyone else, but it's so cool that those two and Velveteen Dream, of course, is in this, and they became like future stars
of the show and was a favourite to win, though he was somewhat shockingly eliminated at the midway point because of perceived cockiness. Patrick didn't seem quite so sure of himself when he attended a WWE signing in his hometown of Washington, D.C. in 2011. 16 or 17 years old at the time, he was interviewed by the camera crew after standing in line to get his WrestleMania 27 DVD signed by Tough Enough Season 3 co-winner John Morrison. Clark complimented Joe for how interactive he was with fans, while praising the former Intercontinental Champion for being a down-to-earth and really cool guy.
Man, no age, bro.
Velveteen Dream. Sometimes it's okay to meet fans at signings and not inappropriately message them on social media platforms.
Oh my god, you have to say this.
Dwayne Johnson would one day become
Why did they have to go there?
Electrifying man in all of entertainment, conquering the professional wrestling world on his way to becoming the biggest movie star on the planet. But in 1984, he was just an awkward kid with an afro watching his famous father do his job. A young Rock can be seen sitting front row on the March 17th, 1984 episode of Championship Wrestling as Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas successfully defend their tag titles against Charlie Fulton and Pete Doherty. No, not that one. The camera pans.
Sorry, I dropped my phone. I don't know where it is. I need to know what time it is because I gotta go to work soon. But let's continue.
To 11-year-old Dwayne as Rocky is introduced, with commentator Vince McMahon failing to acknowledge the family connection. This is likely because baby faces in those days were supposed to appear available and rarely acknowledged having a wife or kids.
Little Richard.
The Great One, self-admittedly a bit of a tearaway in those days, would sometimes accompany his dad on the road. Dwayne would later tell of how he was confused for a girl back then due to his soft features. He remedied that in later life by becoming so large and muscular that in all seriousness, I'm a bit worried about him. He's up on the ICO Pro, mate. You're in your 50s. Number 1,
you think he did that to combat that because people thought he was a girl as a kid, so he was just like, all right, y'all think I'm a girl, I'm gonna show y'all I'm not. He got like super swole. Like, I don't know.
These days, if a kid wants to make a fast buck, they will, I don't know, invest in crypto or become an online influencer or develop $1 million app or something. Kids these days, eh? God, I hate them. It was a trifle trickier back in 1987 when a 16-year-old Rob Van Dam got his first wrestling paycheck. Not by actually wrestling, mind, but by answering Ted DiBiase's challenge to kiss his $1 million foot. RVD was still a few years away from making his own professional wrestling debut when he and some buddies attended a WWE house show in his hometown of Battle Creek, Michigan. The whole flipping show was paid $100 to pucker up and plant one on Ted's toes after DiBiase's victory over Dusty Wolf. The footage then aired on the August 9th, 1987 episode of Wrestling Challenge. Van Dam recalled years later how he could have negotiated a fee as high as $500, since the point of the skit was that everybody has their price and could only say no so many times before they inevitably caved to the cash. Robert accepted the first offer and got his face on television, as well as a cool $100, which it says here he spent on herbs. Oh, didn't know he liked cooking.
Come on. Did I tell you guys that I met RVD at a comic convention at C2E2 in Chicago, and I brought my nephews around? They didn't know who he was. I was like, hey, look, it's RVD. RVD looks at me, he's like, hey, what's going on? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Hey, how's it doing? Yeah. I was like, hey, can we take a picture with you? He's like, sure, man. Come on. All right, just take a picture. Come on. Rob Van Dam. Yeah, man. Yeah. And he's just sat down. He's just staring at the ceiling. And I'm like, this guy is high as a kite right now. This dude is it's crazy. But like RVD, if it was me, I would have negotiated $1,000, because how would it look for the $1 million man to turn down $1,000? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, do you really want to risk your gimmick right now and not pay me what I'm asking? You asked me to put my lips on your feet, which I was been in the ring where people have sweated. It's been in the locker room where people have sweated. You want me to put my lips on there? I don't know what the medical bill is going to be in case something happens or a bump pops up on my lip. I need $1,000, bro. $1,000. But that was a missed opportunity. So it is what it is. But it's still interesting to see these things happen. It's amazing to see these full circles happen. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.